What's up guys, welcome to Vintage Genetics, where it is all about classic bodybuilding. And today it's all about using a simple but effective technique for your chest that you can use every once in a while to give your chest a boost, something different from the usual. A lot of people start out with the dumbbell press, the bench press, sometimes a chest press, but almost never with flies. And today is going to be all about the flies, pumping up the chest and then using the last exercises to stretch the chest back out. Now this is the first exercise of the day, the incline machine flies. Now basically what I want to be doing is 3 different kind of flies at least to really fill up the pectoral muscles, the chest muscles. Why do I choose flies for this? Because it's the only isolation movement for the chest that you can do and that is most effective. Use a full range of motion on machines and cables because the tension will be there at all times, pulling on your muscle. Stretch is for me the most important part about the flies, but we want to use the full range now because we really want to get the blood inside the muscle. The second flies is the low to high cable flies, which really target the upper chest. Now simultaneously the upper chest for me is a weak point, so that's why I start out with an incline fly and then follow it up with a low to high cable fly. If I haven't mentioned it before, if you didn't know, this exercise perfectly mimics the function of the upper chest. So if your upper chest is lacking, if you want to improve it, make sure to make this exercise one of your arsenal of chest exercises to use.
Yeah, buddy.
And right here I'm filming Kane and you can clearly see that the upper chest is being activated when doing this exercise. And again, it's not all about either the stretch or the contraction during these cable flies, it's about both. When you go down and you're lean enough, you will see the striations in the upper chest form when stretching, but also when contracting. You want to see these 2 stages of the range of motion if you want to do the complete rep. And that way you will perfectly fill up the upper chest. And then a third exercise that is a fly, the upright cable flies. And in my opinion, this works the lower chest almost the best out of any exercises, comparable to the chest dips. But if you feel this one, if you do this one, you will feel that the lower chest is activated a lot. Especially the stretch part of this movement is emphasized because you stay upright and the tension, the angle causes the tension in your chest to be exaggerated. Now Kane is doing the more traditional cable fly. That is okay as well because it still is a different fly compared to the previous 2 fly exercises that we did. Most importantly though, as I keep telling you, full range of motion. The longer the range, the longer the tension on the chest, the more blood will be rushing in your chest and the more the next exercises will benefit your chest. And right now, taking off the shirt to reveal the yellow Stay Golden stringer tank top.
Let's do this shit, man.
And let's do it indeed, because this exercise to me is a very good finisher in terms of filling up the chest, getting an incredible pump in the chest. And right here you can see that I'm using a hammer grip on these handles. Why do I do this? Because the squeeze at the end, as you just saw, is incredible. You can squeeze the chest, really bring those pecs together, and when you're near failure, use a couple of stretch reps right here to really fill up the muscle as much as you possibly can. Now, what I want to stress out, and I'm just going to keep repeating myself, is the full range of motion. Especially on an exercise like this, where a lot of people do have reps. Here you really want to do the full reps. You really want to extend your arms, squeeze the chest, and when you go back down, feel the stretch in the chest and make sure that the chest receives the biggest pump imaginable.
Let's end the shit off with 21s.
21s indeed, because this will be the final set of the final exercise to fill up the chest muscles. Now let me explain why we are going to fill up the muscles before stretching them out and why it is beneficial. First of all, the negative portion of the movement damages the muscles more than the positive motion of the movement. So that means when you lower a weight, the muscle receives more damage and responds better to growth than if you would just squeeze the muscles only.
That's how you get a pump, man.
Veel te duur. Rommel.
Now that we pumped up the chest, it's time to stretch it out. The better the pump, the better the stretch.
That's right, what we are basically doing here is exploit the scientifically proven fact that the stretch, or when you go downwards with a weight, the negative portion, the eccentric motion of the range of motion is more damaging, causes more muscle ache, more muscle growth. And we want that maximum effect on the muscles. And we all know, we all experience that when you're having a great pump, it's more difficult to lower the weight. At least it feels more difficult on the muscles. Just imagine when you're doing a squat after leg extensions, it feels a lot more difficult, a lot harder at the bottom to get back up. So the same principle applies to the chest or any other muscle group. Now that we did the bench press with a wide grip, of course going all the way down, otherwise this effect will be negligible, we are doing the dumbbell pullover next. And this one again gives you an enormous stretch on the muscle. As you can see right here, I'm going as far down as I can, stretching out the pectoral muscles. And if you would be doing the dumbbell pullover at the beginning of the workout, you would barely feel the stretch in the chest, but I'm doing it at the end of the workout, and that way you will feel the stretch much better. And that again is proof that pumping of the muscle puts more default tension on the muscle, and therefore the stretch will be maximized, will be more effective. And what is better than to use two classic proven exercises to stretch the chest back out? Doing the bench press in combination with the dumbbell pullover, you ensure that you're doing two classic exercises while maximizing the benefits of a workout such as this. And now that we finished off with the chest, it's time for the tricep pushdowns on this particular machine. I like to call it the tricep press. And if you have this machine at your gym, I suggest sitting quite low on the seat, at least until your shoulders are parallel to your elbows on the pads, and that way you get an optimum stretch in the triceps. This machine really works the medial head and the long head of the triceps, really good for the tricep thickness. As you can see, when I'm fully extending, the small head of the triceps is shortly contracting, but for the most part it's really the medial and long head doing the bulk of the work. And I really like starting out with an exercise that works either the long head or the medial head. Not really a fan of starting out with the rope pushdowns. Of course, I have done that several times in the past, but I really want to work on my triceps, really want to get them bigger, because triceps are roughly 2/3 of the mass of your upper arms. So that's what you want to work if you want bigger arms. And my triceps, in comparison to my biceps, are not as developed, so that's why I want to work on the bigger parts of the triceps first. And now we are about to do a small grip bench press, and this one really is for the medial head. Just remember, any overhead tricep exercise is mostly for the long head. Any tricep press like this is more for the medial head, and any tricep extension in front of the body is more for the small head of the tricep. Generally speaking, of course, you always use all three heads, but you can put emphasis on different parts of the tricep, such as doing a small grip or a close grip with a barbell curl or a wide grip. Then you work the outer or inner head of the biceps, and the same you can do with the triceps. And to finish off this workout, I'm going to do wide grip tricep pushdowns. And remember, just like with biceps, if you grip the barbell wide and do barbell curls like that, you work the inner head, so it's kind of inverted. When you grab it small or narrow, you work the outer head, and the same goes for these tricep pushdowns. If you grab it on the outside, you will work more of the inner head of the triceps, which is the long head. Now, because this is a tricep pushdown in front of the body, you will always work the small head, which gives you that thickness on the front view of your arms, which Kevin Levrone, for example, is famous for. And that was the workout of the day, guys. Something a little different, starting out with several fly exercises and a hammer grip chest press to fill up the muscle, and then stretching out the chest again with a bench press and the dumbbell pullover. I hope you enjoyed this video, and don't forget to stay golden.